All right, so step one of figuring out how to mount a bracket or do the top out for a drinking fountain is obviously establish the location of the drinking fountain. This is AEA, the plans for AEA. So here you go, here's the information for it. Looking at the plans, the drinking fountain is right here where it says EDF1. So here's your drinking fountain, is this area. So what you're going to have to do is figure out, you need to make sure it's centered on this wall. So to figure out the measurements to center it up on this wall, you need to go to the architectural plan. So the architectural plan, here's corridor 103. Here's corridor 103. So here's the lobby. There's the lobby. So this is the wall you're going to be putting the drinking fountain on. It doesn't have a measurement right here, obviously, but there is a measurement right here. You just need to find this dimension of the wall. So if you follow the plans down this wall, it has the little diamond on it with number 3. That's your wall detail page. So you can come down here and look at it and get all the information needed from there. You need to add the overall dimension that it's shown on the plan with the wall dimension, and it is accounting for sheetrock on here. So I use the Construction Master Pro on my phone. It's like 20 bucks. So I would recommend getting that. It's a lot easier. The way I punch it in is the way I say it out loud. So you need to pay attention to how you enter it in to make sure you have the feet and inches and all that stuff correct. So the first measurement you're going to punch in is this 7 foot 1 inch and a half. So I'm going to punch in just that, 7 feet 1 inch 1/2. Plus we need to add the wall section, which is going to be wall section number 3 plus 5 inch 1/2 plus 5/8 inch plus 5/8 inch equals 92 1/4. So right here, make sure you write it down, pen, paper, whatever. I'm obviously going to do it on the computer because I'm here. So we'll go here, 92 inch 1/4. 92 1/4, that is the center of this wall, right? That's the overall length. That's the overall length of the wall. You need to find the center point. So you'll divide that by 2, which is going to get you to 46 1/8. So that's going to get you 46 1/8. So the center right here is 46 1/8. So once you get that center mark, make sure you write it down, because you're going to have to jump from the plans to the submittals and use the 46 1/8 on the submittals. So here's the submittals for AEA. Let's scroll down to the drinking fountain. Here's your drinking fountain. So here, rough end, left hand high, whatever. So here is the center line we're talking about. Here's the center line. You need to find the center line of both drinking fountains. So that would be the 46 1/8 we were talking about, which is right here. You need to find the center line of the drinking fountain, because that's where it needs to be centered up on the top out, set out, anything. You need to just get it as close as you can. So what you're going to go off of is you need to find the center line of this drinking fountain, because all the measurements you're going to use are on this page. So looking at it is all these measurements right here is what you're going to use. All of these measurements is what you're going to use, which all pull off of the center line of the lower drinking fountain with the bottle filler on it. This is the bottle filler right here. So you need to figure out the overall width of this piece, which is 17 7/8. So you need to find the center of that. So it's 46 inch 1/8. Well, we'll clear that out. So we'll go 17 inch 7/8 divided by 2 equals 8 15/16. And yes, the 16th of an inch matters. So we just need to pay attention to that. It needs to be exact. So you're going to need to, whether you're pulling from this side of the wall this way or this side of the wall this way, it doesn't matter. You just need to define which side is the lower side and pull from that side. So we'll say we're pulling off of this side right now. So we need to go 40, so clear that out, 46 inch 1/8 minus 8 inch 15/16. That's going to get you to 37 3/16. So 37 3/16 from one of the side walls where the lower drinking fountain is this dimension right here. Once you get this dimension, that's when you can start going for the water and drain locations. So your water location is going to be this 2-inch measurement right here, because it shows this is A, your preferred location of A. If you're not familiar with what that is, A is your recommended water supply location. B is your recommended waste outlet location. So you need to pay attention to those. Those are pretty common. The A, B, C, all that stuff, those usually translate between different manufacturers, but you always need to double check that. So here's your water location and here's your drain right here. So from the 37 3/16 here, to get your horizontal measurement for the water stub out, you would need to subtract 2 inches from that if you're pulling this way. If you're pulling from right to left, you would need to subtract, or you would need to add. If you're pulling from left to right, you would need to subtract. If you're pulling from right to left, you would need to add 2 inches to the whatever the center line measurement is, whichever way you're pulling. So you would add or subtract this 2 inches, which would be your horizontal measurement, follow it up to A, then come over and look. Here's your height right here. It would be 19 inches off the finished floor. You need to pay attention to the floor. Make sure the finished floor is down and or account for that. Whether it be tile, wood, vinyl, whatever, it doesn't matter. You just need to account for it. We need to, if the flooring or finished floor is not set, then we need to talk to the builder and get an email saying, hey, this is your overall floor thickness. You need to account, an inch, inch and a half, whatever it is. So we always need to get that written documentation from the builder before we do something, just to make sure we're all on the same page. So if something does change later, we're not doing work for free. So you would, if say there's an inch and a half of flooring or whatever, you would need to add the inch and a half to the 19. If it's finished concrete, you would just pull your tape measure up 19 inches, mark it, and you're good. So to get your horizontal measurement for your drain, you do the same thing. Off the center line of your lower drinking fountain, you would add or subtract 3 7/8. It just depends which side of the wall you're pulling from, but you would subtract or add the 3 7/8, follow it up. Here's your center line of your drain. Bring it over right here, and the height for your drain is going to be 21 7/8. Same thing for the plug. You would look at the center line of the drinking fountain here and subtract or add 5 3/4. Depends which side you're pulling from. Follow it up to the plug, and it needs to be 17 7/16 off the ground. Same thing for your higher drinking fountain. Look at the picture. This little perforated line right here is the manufacturer cutout. So that's where the plug needs to land in. So you would look at your plug. You would need to get your horizontal measurements because you need to find this dimension. So looking at it, you need this dimension right here, the center line of your lower drinking fountain, because the center line of your higher drinking fountain is going to be 18 3/8 from the center line of your lower drinking fountain. So you would need to add or subtract, depending on which way you're pulling, 18 3/8 from the 37 3/16 that you previously got for this measurement. You need to add or subtract that, follow it down, and then your plug needs to be 7/8 of an inch to the center of it, to the left or to the right. Again, look at the picture, come over to the side. Here's your vertical measurement. It would be 22 15/16. So to get your bracket height, you have to do the same thing. You need to come here and look at your brackets. The rim measurement of the drinking fountain obviously deals with ADA, so we need to make sure that's in the right spot. That usually gives you measurements. So here is this is the lower one. This is going to be, here's your vertical measurement right here. If you follow this, the 28 and 13/16 to the bottom, and then 2-inch gap for the overall bracket, that would get you at 38 and 3/8 here on the higher one. The higher one is not as important because the lower one is ADA. Usually those need to be between 32 and 34 inches. But here it says 32 and 7/8, so you'll be good for our ADA. So you just need to take that into account when you're getting your bracket measurement. But all your bracket measurements are right here, and then your rim measurements to the rim of the drinking fountain are right here. If there is something with children's ADA, it shows a note right here. Reduce height by 3 inches for installation of children's ADA cooler. So you would follow all the same processes and just subtract it by 3 inches. So hope this helps. Thanks. Let me know if you got any questions.